Hello friends, welcome to my channel Creating Essence. I am Megan. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If you are new here, I am a wife to 1, mom to 7, and we live on a suburban homestead in Central Virginia. We homeschool our kids and we love to share our adventures with all of you here on YouTube. We would love to have you stick around and hit that subscribe button. Today I am sharing with you all my rising 10th graders curriculum choices. 10th grade. That's crazy. Now at this point in high school, we're really working on rounding out those skills and areas of information that we really feel it's important for our daughter to know. And we're also working on leading into what she would like her future career to be. Obviously she hasn't made a final decision right now, and that's totally okay, 100% normal. But she does have a couple of different leanings, so we are gearing things in a certain way that regardless of which she chooses, the education she's getting now, the skills she's learning, the information she's learning, and the things she's practicing will set her up well for the future in those areas, as well as just life in general. For math this year, my daughter is going to be doing teaching textbooks Algebra Level 2. This past year she did Abeka Algebra 1, but she also did the personal finance course through the Dave Ramsey Foundation. She kind of doubled up on math this year, but she did a really great job. In case you didn't see my review video on our experience with teaching textbooks with one of my students this past year, I will link it in the info box down below. But teaching textbooks, their style, their methodology, and just how their program runs and the resources for families really blew me away, and I decided I'm switching all my kids to it, which includes my 10th grader who will be taking Algebra 2, with the caveat that there is a placement test, and if she tests out of Algebra 2, which is a possibility, she's good at math, she might be going into either geometry or pre-calculus. We will see. But teaching textbooks will be her math. For language arts this year, we are also making a huge change. Kindergarten through 8th grade, she did Abeka for language arts, and I really liked it in the elementary grades. And as I got into middle school, I was less in love with it. And last year in 9th grade, I just really did not like the direction of the program that it was going for her. So we ended up dropping that and switching to a Jane Austen focused sort of language arts through literature approach of my own making, and she did great. This year, however, I'm making a switch again. This year I'm using the high school level 1 edition of The Good and the Beautiful. Now, I definitely could have gone with level 2, but I just wanted to start with this, and if it's a breeze for her and she flies through it, great. But after researching, I really like the looks of how they do their approach to language arts, and we decided to give it a try. It comes with this, which is used in all of their high school level courses, so I will never have to buy this again with any of my kids. And then it comes with these 10 little unit booklets. They are consumables, which I'm totally fine with. I can just rebuy these booklets as needed in the future. The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts program covers not only grammar, but also vocabulary, spelling, and some unexpected things like geography, art history, and things like that. In addition to all that, I also added the Honors Book Study program for her. These are intensive literature studies on 3 different classic books, like The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis, Little Men and the Life at Plum Field with Joe's Boys by Louisa May Alcott, and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Now, I asked her before I purchased this if she wanted to repeat Pride and Prejudice since she already read it last year. And she actually said Pride and Prejudice was one of her favorite all-time books, and she would love to redo it and do an in-depth study on it this year. So we're going with these. Now for science this year, my daughter is going to be diving into biology. After looking over a lot of programs, watching reviews, flipping through things, I ended up going with Apologia. Their biology program comes with this big, thick biology reading textbooks, but it also follows their sort of methodology with a student notebook. Now, the student book is a lot more in-depth than what you see in the student notebooks from lower grades. Apologia also offers things like lab supplies, things you need for dissection labs, which will be a lot of fun when we get there. Now, for history this last year, once again, I put together the program I wanted her to do because we were focusing on American history and there were aspects of it that are not typically taught in textbooks that I really wanted her to have a good understanding of. We started with the American Revolution because we had already covered the Native Americans, the earliest explorers, and the typical colonization stuff that needs to be covered as part of American history. So she got started last year with the American Revolution and read really in depth on the different aspects of that, read Thomas Paine's Common Sense and the Rights of Man, and different historical pieces like that. We're going to continue on that timeline and moving on this year to a detailed study of the Constitution. We're going to be working with the Politically Incorrect Guide to the Constitution, as well as We the People, Our Constitution Rocks. We like to watch movies and videos about those different topics and things that happened on that historical timeline. So there will be a lot of filling in the gaps with those. Then continuing forward through the Civil War. With the Civil War topic, we're going to be using the Politically Incorrect Guide to the Civil War, as well as the book, The Narrative Life of Frederick Douglass. We will be working through all of these things, as well as watching movies and documentary type pieces. We also will be doing geography as it relates to the different aspects of this, where these things took place, how the country was developing at that time, and where things happened during the Civil War. And those things are just basically free printables and maps. I go online, search, and print off for her to work with. For foreign language, my daughter will be continuing with American Sign Language by using the Sign It ASL program online. For music, my daughter is continuing to do a self-guided piano course, and this year we have actually talked about, as she's about to finish it, moving that area of her homeschool education to the local music store for piano lessons. We're letting her tell us what she's interested in. She also has a violin that she was really excited about a few years ago that a friend gave us because they no longer needed it. And she tried, but at that time she didn't really understand music theory. But she's begun understanding music theory, learned how to read music and things like that through taking this piano course. So there's a chance we may end up doing violin lessons instead, but we will see. For art, we will continue on with our Fun Friday tradition of doing the core subjects 4 days a week, and then on Fridays doing all of our projects, field trips, and art. Things like watercolor, painting, clay work, all sorts of things like that. And her language arts curriculum this year will also be helping her with some of those skills along the way. And that is what my 10th grader is going to be working through this year. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments section below. And I'm happy to do flip throughs of any specific items that you all would like to see inside. Just let me know. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it if you think anyone might find it useful, and subscribe to hang out for more. We'll see you again soon.